Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm NV Jitters.
And I am CheerandCosplay.
And we are not watching anime this week. Psych, yes we are. It's basically anime once again. We watched hundreds of Beavers.
Yep.
Have you heard of that?
Thing.
Person in the audience who cannot speak? Comment below if you've actually heard of what this thing is. It's insane. We're just going to say that at the top of the thing. This is an insane movie.
Yes.
Yeah, how's everybody else doing?
Yes.
Yes. Very yes. Very yay. Very much wow. I don't know what I'm doing.
It was something.
It was an experience.
It was something we watched.
Yeah, this context for you guys. We were all hanging out one night. Cece says, "Have you guys heard of Hundreds of Beavers?" And I'm like, "What is that?" And they put it on, and then we watched that. And we were baffled by the entire experience. And I was like, oh my god, hey, you know what this kind of reminds me of? There's a movie called Lake Michigan Monster. And then we watched that, and we were all baffled by it. And then we found out that, oh, these were made by the exact same people. This all makes a lot of sense. So we might be talking about Lake Michigan Monster as well. But for now, Hundreds of Beavers. What the fuck is Hundreds of Beavers? It's basically anime. And when I say that, I mean this is a Looney Tunes cartoon performed live action.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Although according to the director / producer / co-writer, he was inspired by Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, Abbott, and Costello in the Three Stooges.
yes.
Yeah.
Which
Sounds
were,
about right.
Which were also influences on the early Looney Tunes cartoons as well. So they're all drawn from the same well, and it's kind of fantastic. This is a black and white, essentially a silent film made in 2022, which feels like it's been 100 years since this has been a thing. But you know what? I'm just gonna say out the gate, it fucking works somehow. We were engrossed by this film for an hour and 40 minutes.
I love this movie.
I thought it was way longer than that.
No, it was
Was it an hour and 40 minutes?
108.
No, there was. We had to keep watching that stupid ad over and over.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah.
it felt longer.
Fucking, what was it? Tubi?
That
Yeah, we
ad
watched
made
it on
2
Tubi.
hours.
Okay, that made it 2 hours.
And they played the same ad, and it was like a 5, like each ad break was 5, and they would play the same ad for like a car. I forget what car over and over.
No, it was
and
the
over
fucking
again.
Toyota. I will never buy a Toyota specifically because I had to watch this fucking ad like 7 times. Or no, not. It was like 5 times
In a row.
per commercial break, and then how many commercial
Yeah.
breaks we had over the course of this like less than 2 hour movie. So it's like, you know what? I'm not getting into it. I want to forget that as best I can. So, yeah, this comes to us courtesy of Mike Cheslick and a number of other people. Ryland 2s also. They both made like Lake Michigan Monster in this movie.
Which one came first?
A Lake Michigan Monster was a much smaller budget thing that they did for like a local film festival. They made it for like $7,000, and everyone liked it so much, and they actually like got some traction behind it. So they were actually able to get a budget for Hundreds of Beavers, which they made for $150,000. And they actually made back their money because box office says it made $1.2 million. So they did really well with it for a super low budget movie.
Who did the animation?
The animation. Hang on, let me check.
I think we have to give them props. They did a pretty good job on that.
Yeah,
It's like kind of like stop motion-y animation.
a little. No, I don't think
Yeah,
stop
not
motion,
really.
but like
How did they make it? Do you think?
I think it was all green screened.
Okay.
Like it's a
Yeah.
bunch of live action actors and mascots and mascot outfits and stuff, and everything's in front of green screen, and then they like used it. It was okay. Here we go. Over 15,000 visual effects were made using Adobe After Effects.
Oh.
So, yeah.
And the thing about this movie is that when you watch it for like 5 minutes, it looks cheap as hell. But there's an art to its cheapness that actually makes it look really, I don't want to say it good, but there's a
does.
charm to it that
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
It really works. It's bizarre. It's, you know what, we should talk about what this movie is actually about, because we just keep like going around and around and around. This movie is about a guy named John who's living in like the 19th century Wisconsin, Michigan area, and he makes apple cider, like alcoholic apple cider, but in the opening act of the movie, his orchard is destroyed. And then
because
winter
he caused it.
Yeah, he was a drunk. His orchard is destroyed. Winter comes, it destroys everything and leaves him with nothing. And then he has to learn to survive in the wilderness. And every Looney Tunes bit of shenanigans you can possibly think of, they thought of, and then they thought of 10 more. So, honestly, the humor in this movie is astounding. Every joke pretty much landed for me. But to be fair, I'm pretty easy for jokes to land on. I love to laugh. But how was it for everybody else as far as the comedy?
I think most of it was pretty consistently good. I liked the gags, they would do these repetition gags, where he shimmies up the tree and then he ends up falling into the pile of stuff and he keeps getting attacked by the same things over and over. And you would think it would get old, but it was fun, in a cartoonish kind of way,
I think you could teach a comedy class with this film because it uses what the most basic elements of, this is not going to be funny because we're going to be over analyzing comedy a little bit, but every single joke builds upon the last one and then ups the ante again. I keep thinking of the wind blowing out the fire joke.
Yeah.
So perfect. And every time he figures out how to stop the wind from blowing out the fire, it does something else that takes him by surprise.
I mean, the thing that got me the most in the beginning, in the first 5 to 10 minutes beyond, the initial shock of just how it's clearly guys in rubber suits or fur suits or whatever, and it's just them beating the shit out of this guy. So, for the first half an hour, that's where most of the comedy gets in. But I think the more you watch the movie, you're just entertained by the fact that this is basically a video game. This is basically him, playing a survival game. Going from absolutely nothing, not knowing what to do, to gradually knowing what he's doing, to becoming so OP that he literally takes on an army, a whole civilization of beavers, and wins.
Yeah. He tries to become a hunter, essentially, is how we run into the hundreds of beavers element of this. And, he's trading, the animal pelts and stuff that he gets for stuff from the merchant. And the merchant's daughter is attractive, and he would like to marry her. Because we need a very simple, straightforward plot, and so we don't have to worry about any sort of story to write, and we can just write more and more jokes about this situation. And it just fucking works. This should not work, and it works so well.
I think maybe it's because the comedy is all very physical, and there's not a lot of actual, dialogue.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if the comedy was actually verbal, maybe the jokes would not have landed quite as well, depending on the viewing audience. But I don't know.
That's fair. I will say, nothing for nothing, that is one of the kind of forms of comedy that no matter what, it's always going to translate well. I mean, a guy getting kicked in the nuts is never not going to be funny. It doesn't matter what time period you're in.
Or what language you speak, or where you're from.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody will recognize that.
I rewatch every now and then some of the older silent shorts from I like Buster Keaton a little more than Charlie Chaplin, but either one is good. And I'm a big fan of the Three Stooges. Those guys work no matter what scenario they're in because it is like this. It just, the stuff is still universal. Some of it doesn't age well, more from a anachronistic technology kind of standpoint, but a funny visual gag is never not going to be funny, at least to me.
What I think this is teaching comedy. You said this could teach a class on comedy with this film. I think this is more you could teach a class on slapstick with this film.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because slapstick is its own form of comedy. I feel like comedy includes a lot of other things that weren't necessarily touched upon.
Oh yeah.
In this, but
I mean, because it's kind of going as a silent film, it really only has its visuals to work with, and a couple other things. There is little snippet-esque thing. There's screaming every now and then, or certain sound effects that come back as callbacks to certain things. But yeah, there's no words in it. I think the number one thing I kind of wish more people did, and they don't do it anymore, is actual escalation of comedy and humor and jokes. And I don't feel like people do that anymore, and it's a result, unfortunately, of, I think, Will Ferrell and Adam McKay. unfortunately ruined modern comedy a little bit.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I love Will Ferrell and I love a lot of his movies, but those movies worked because Will Ferrell worked in them, and then everyone else started doing it like them, and it didn't work to me.
The thing is if you start at 100, you can only go so far from there.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Starting small and, building. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
For me, Will Ferrell's always been a bit much.
I'm not
in pretty much every role he's been in, but that's a me thing.
Yeah. I'm not talking about what his energy level is or anything like that. I'm talking about, so around when Anchorman came out, they allowed a lot of improv in that movie, which occasionally there's improv throughout all of film history, but like we've had so much more improv now as opposed to back then, because nowadays people don't want to write scripts sometimes. It used to be you had to like write the script and make sure the jokes all worked and then film the whole thing and that. But Will Ferrell is such a good improviser, and a lot of the Saturday Night Live cast that like came out at that time were like really good improvisers. So they were like, let's set up 3 cameras and let's just let them go and do the whole scene. Just do whatever and just make however many jokes we want. And then we'll pick out whatever the best ones are for the edit, and we'll just do it like that. And it worked. It worked in Anchorman. And then everyone else was like, well, that's a way cheaper and faster way of making these comedies, and we can just let them go and do whatever. We don't even need to really write scenes so much as just hit this point, this point, this point. Anything else in the middle, just fill it up with whatever you want. And unfortunately, although it's funny in the moment, they don't age super well because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't escalate the plot. It doesn't further anything. It's just, this is one scene and it's funny and it looks good on YouTube and it's great for that. But I feel like it's become what every comedy has become now. And I feel like I don't remember half the comedies that come out anymore, because that's all that they are. It is a 3-camera setup. We're just going to sit or stand in a room and we're all just going to like riff jokes off of each other, which is great in the moment. And I'm going to forget it in a week. I'm never going to forget this fucking movie.
Yeah.
So, because like if it starts a little funny, we're going to build on it to make it even funnier and even funnier. It actually reminds me, beyond the filmmakers that we were talking about, it reminds me of Blake Edwards, who made a lot of Peter Sellers comedies back in the day, including like the Pink Panther series, which again is a huge slapstick franchise in that. And every single one of his movies honestly starts kind of slow. And it's kind of like you're having little jokes here and there, but the jokes all build on each other until finally you, like, it doesn't age super well for a couple reasons, but he had a movie called The Party, and it was about a guy who got invited to the wrong party, and it starts out with just little small social things. Little mix-ups. Oh, there's not enough seats at the table. Or, oh, his suit got messed up and now he has to try to fix it without anyone noticing. Little things. By the end of the movie, the mansion that they're at is destroyed by a stampede of circus performers and elephants. By the way, they're in, like, Beverly Hills. So, you explain how it happened. I don't know, and I watched the movie, and it's amazing. But also, it's incredibly racist. And didn't need it.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Blake Edwards has such a, like, your movies are so funny. Why did you include that racist joke? I get it's the 60s and you could get away with it, but it's like, why?
Still doesn't excuse it.
And the worst part is it's always like stuff that is like, clearly this was not even necessary for any reason. You could literally cut that and it doesn't change the movie at all. But okay.
Well, now you've turned me off from that movie.
And it's a shame because
Thank you for letting
really
me know
funny.
Before I watched it.
Honestly, the Pink Panther movies are kind of the same way.
Oh,
like,
really?
They all have one racist joke at the beginning of the movie. Has nothing to do with the movie. You could completely cut. Has no issue whatsoever. And the rest of the movie is hilarious. It doesn't have any problem.
I've actually never watched a Pink Panther movie.
I will show it to you sometimes, and you will see and like, wow, you didn't even need that. Why? Why was this a thing? I recently was like sitting with my parents one afternoon, and it was just on, and we were like, oh yeah, let's watch that. And like, as soon as we heard the one joke in it, we're just like, whoa, okay, when did this come out? 1973. Okay, I guess that makes sense. I feel like I'm going off on a lot of tangents, but I don't often get to talk about just film history and comedies and stuff for this, so I'm taking my moment.
How do they compare to the Steve Martin ones? Because those are the only ones I've seen.
Those are garbage. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah? Yeah.
Peter Sellers is a far more troubled man and a way better comedian. I don't think those are meant to correlate at all, but like it's just does have to be said.
So it's the same plot, but just it was a remake.
I think here's the thing: the original Pink Panther, I don't think was as much about the inspector. He's actually more of a side character, and it's actually about the thief stealing the Pink Panther. But Clouseau, the inspector, became so popular that he became the main character of the franchise as it kept going. And I think Steve Martin, who's playing Clouseau, is the main character now for the thing. So. You should see Peter Sellers played James Bond in the Casino Royale spoof movie. It's a really fucking weird one. He gets into a fight with Orson Welles at a poker table, and there's a roulette wheel that shoots people. It's every bizarre that I'm just like giving you the most bizarre movie recommendations from like years gone by at this point. But I also gonna say watch Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah.
I will say, I think this weekend we didn't make any plans, but like the Harris Theater downtown might be showing it in 35mm. I don't even think they made this on 35mm, so I don't know how they're doing that. But
well,
I might see if they're showing it again. I might watch this again. I've watched this recently, and I may watch it again.
Yeah, I was kind of running in and out because I was trying to make sure I wasn't burning the house down. I was making garlic bread, but.
That sounds like a great setup for a joke that can escalate throughout the rest of your life. But yeah, what were you... I feel like I've been talking for too long. What are some of your guys' thoughts on this situation? Or just comedies in general?
I mean, wasn't there a famous movie... Or not a famous movie, but wasn't there like a famous quote that says like comedy is like basically tragedy? So that's basically what this movie was. Like this guy...
Yeah.
Down on his, I don't even want to say down on his luck. It was his own fault that his whole apple orchard cider farm got destroyed, and then he basically had to literally start with nothing. And there was points where he was butt naked, and obviously hypothermia doesn't work in this movie, so that's a good thing for him. And there is a system where certain animals are attracted to what, and like shit and frogs and raccoons and. It's like a whole the chain of command in the food system was kind of out there too.
Well, I mean, and let's throw this out there because I do think if anything that I'm saying is making you think like, this isn't for me. This is old style humor or something. We keep saying this sounds like a survival game. They did design this movie to be like watching a Let's Play, so I actually think this could be a perfect way to get maybe new people into like old style comedy because regardless of how the comedy works. It does feel like you're watching someone stream a game a little bit, which is essentially he's living a game.
It's basically like if you watched someone play a Don Bluth game, but it's real.
I was honestly thinking
that
Minecraft.
Kind of like camera composition kind of thing for like the side scrolling and going back and forth. And I don't know if I'm saying it right, but that's what it reminded me of.
No. From a visual standpoint, I absolutely agree with you, and I think you're right. From like a narrative and escalation of the plot and element stuff, feels like Minecraft or something.
A little bit, for sure. I also wasn't thinking video games when I was watching this.
Oh, you weren't thinking of Dragon Quest?
I was thinking of like Dragon Quest as far as composition went, but as far as the comedy was concerned, I was thinking more along the lines of there are certain side-scroller point-and-click games that they have on Steam, like Thimbleweed Park, which is kind of like an X-Files sort of like pixelated side-scroller, but it's very funny. Okay. It's got a lot of humor in it. So I was like, okay, so they're taking a bit from like that page of kind of sort of visuals a little bit was another thing that it reminded me of while we were sitting there watching it.
Maybe we'll have to check those out for a game thing. Because if it's anything like Hundreds of Beavers, I want to play it.
You mentioned earlier that the humor might be outdated. All I gotta say is that there's a reason why, even though Warner Brothers wants to kill it. There's a reason why Looney Tunes are still around to this very day, because their humor is timeless. Like as far as physical comedy is concerned, like you said, getting the shit being kicked out of you is never not going to be funny.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the humor doesn't work or that the humor is like outdated. I'm saying that from a narrative perspective, I don't think these kind of stories are really told as much anymore, or that maybe certain younger generations who aren't maybe as interested in film or TV or certain things like that and kind of just want to watch someone play a game, I think that audience actually would enjoy this because it does sort of follow that same narrative format. It sort of is it feels a little more free-form, a little more discovery-based, and not so much like some more traditional movies that might turn those people off a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's spot on.
Yeah. So, like, that's kind of what I'm saying of, like, because, like, yeah, kick them in the nuts. Funny in any language, funny in any time period. But people today, and I'm generalizing, but I do feel like a lot of younger people today maybe either prefer just really short stuff, short get-to-the-point joke, or they prefer really long, I'm just going to sit and veg out and watch this person do a thing for like 8 hours.
Well, it's kind of the meme of like kids nowadays only either like shorts or TikToks or a long-ass podcast.
Yeah, that's what
I think part of that is that like the short TikToks, like they don't command as much of your attention. Like you watch it, you get that little hit of dopamine, and you're done, and you can move on to the next thing. Whereas the long form thing, that is more something you put on in the background where you're not really paying attention necessarily.
Yeah.
So that is very much like if there is a joke in there somewhere, you might not even hear it.
Yeah, but this one actually, I feel like the jokes do stand out a lot better. So even if you're kind of getting into that like sort of veg out kind of background state, I do think this is going to bring your attention back and make you be like, well, yeah, I'm watching this.
That's more because it's like there is no real talking. It's all sound. So like you kind of have to be paying attention because otherwise you're missing a lot of stuff. Like I was a little bit in and out of this because I was also doing a diamond dot map while we were watching it, but I was still paying attention to what was going on.
Yeah.
Like,
but
not everything, but...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, there are certain things where it's like... I always feel a little weird about saying that you need to pay attention because that feels like it's complicated and if you look away, you're going to miss something versus something that draws your attention. I don't think you have to pay attention to this movie, but you will inevitably pay attention to this movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I get that. I feel like it also just like it might not be everybody's cup of tea for comedy, maybe.
Oh, that's definitely probably true as well. Do we want to talk about Lake Michigan Monster? Because I feel like that one maybe would be less a cup of tea for some people than this one.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I didn't care for that movie when we watched it.
I didn't either.
That's fair. Fair.
I was kind of neutral towards
but I think that was because there was actual dialogue, and the dialogue at parts was stupid. No offense.
But the main guy, like the main captain guy, I thought he had a good performance, all things considered, and I do commend them for making a movie of that scale for that budget, but yeah, it just wasn't hitting for me personally.
I just didn't find it that particularly funny. Like, I think it was kind of enjoyable in parts. I think it was like a very like easy watch, but I didn't find myself like laughing like I did with the other one. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it was particularly memorable.
It was much shorter.
Yeah, that's true.
That
was it like 40 minutes?
Nice.
70 minutes.
70? Okay.
Yeah. So, hour 10. I don't even think that makes it into a movie theater.
It's like kind of watchable, but like not hilarious or anything.
It's like just super low budget, but like it's me. I'm weird. I enjoy that sort of like silly like YouTube short film kind of stuff.
I think if he had stopped saying Sean Shaughnessy so many fucking times, I feel like I would have been okay with it.
You don't want him to talk about Sean Shaughnessy?
No!
Get your gun, Sean Shaughnessy.
So also, You didn't realize these are the same people?
I
knew it from the minute we started watching, because I'm like, that's the same man.
Okay. I didn't immediately think, oh, these two very weird things were definitely made by the same person. Looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, okay, that actually 100% makes sense. But it was one of those things of like, what are the odds these two things that I was like, this one thing that I was shown and this other thing that I had heard was good, were miraculously from the same person. I just didn't think
Maybe
that.
at some point you knew, so your subconscious told you, oh wait, there was that other movie made by this guy.
I mean, yeah, that's literally, we watched the Hundreds of Beavers. I was like, have you guys heard of Michigan
maybe
Monster?
deep down you knew.
No, I did not know. I just knew, like, this has the same vibe. And then we all watched it.
Yeah, same vibe, but for a good reason.
Yeah, so just in case anyone is interested, Lake Michigan Monster is about a man who hires a couple of people to help him find a monster in Lake Michigan, if you can believe it. And the monster killed his father, so it's a revenge story. And things get bizarre as things get all Lovecraftian and crazy. And it's very, if you like Mystery Science Theater 3000, you'll like these, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's very much in that sort of vibe.
I think Lake Michigan Monster fell off a little when he lost his crewmates.
Yeah,
Like, I enjoyed it much more in the beginning, but, like, once they all disappeared, I was like, I don't care so much about this guy.
Looking at these two in context of these are the same people and, like, essentially split, like, a 4 years of difference, it's like, oh, I see the progression of you as a filmmaker, which is kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and I think this guy,
That's
like,
true.
as a solo act, like, in Hundreds of Beavers was more fun to watch than the other one. I agree with that.
If you watch these back to back, you're going to be like, wow, you guys really improved. Well, one, a budget really makes a difference, but two, you guys really improved your storytelling and stuff. So I think that's at least nice.
I mean, nothing for nothing. The Hundreds of Beavers climax,
Yeah.
I was on the edge of my seat watching it, and it's just like, I joked, like me and Al were sitting next to each other watching the movie, and the Beavers, they build like this complicated Tower of Babel fortress, and I'm just like, how deep does this shit go? And sure enough,
It goes deep.
yeah.
Like, I did not walk into Hundreds of Beavers thinking that there was going to be a mystery plot that was going to, like, grab me. And yet there it was. What are the Beavers doing?
Because most of the second act, like, for 2/3 of the movie, there's a few dozen beavers, but not hundreds of beavers. Most of the first 2/3 is the main guy trying to get his beaver pelts back from the wolves.
Mhm.
But then the last third is just, you want hundreds of beavers? Well, maybe like thousands of beavers.
And can we talk about the M. Night Shyamalan twist amongst the Beavers? Actually, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what?
Where-
We all know what I'm talking
Don't-
about. We're not going to say what it is. Watch this movie. It is an insane twist. But how about that moment?
Oh, you can cut this if it's too revealing, but, like, how long do you think that had happened? Like, do you think it was the case for the entire time, or if it was, like, much more recently?
I think you could go in either direction. I think it had to have been more recently, but I'm trying to think, because he shows up. Does he show? No, he shows up at the door,
Yeah.
which says to me, like, had he shown up previously to, like, help out or done something, it had to have been the whole time. Oh, that's insane. That or it's nonsense. It's probably nonsense.
It's probably nonsense.
I don't know. There is so much in this movie. I don't even know what else to talk about in regard to this. It's a yay for me, and it's basically anime.
Yes.
It was a silly good time.
Yes.
I give it a yay.
Watch it with friends, watch it by yourself, watch it.
It's on
Yeah.
Tubi.
Yeah,
I
so
feel like
it's-
comedies are the hardest genre to review, because if it's a bad comedy, sure, we'll say why it's not funny, but if it's a good comedy, really don't want to spoil any of the good jokes.
Yeah. And I think we've
And-
avoided it for the most part. So
Yeah.
there's a lot in here. They packed this thing with, like, just a surprising amount of stuff. And again,
Yeah.
free on Tubi if you are willing to watch 5 Toyota ads in a row every, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
I think it's a testament to how good the movie is that we didn't quit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, I mean, we watched this. We watched Lake Michigan Monster, and then what? We watched Jack Frost?
Yeah, we watched Jack
Yeah.
Frost, which is just sort of felt in the same vibe of like, we watched the riff tracks of Jack Frost,
Yeah,
so
we did.
we were kind of having just a day of it.
Uh-huh. Comedy is also just hard to review because taste in comedy is very subjective.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the audience watching it, so...
I'm interested to see because there's a comedy coming out pretty soon. Has anyone ever seen Naked Gun?
The remake,
Yeah,
or
the
the
remake.
legacy sequel.
The Legacy sequel's coming out in August. I am interested because the trailers actually do feel like the right vibe.
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane can be pretty hit and miss sometimes. That being said, I'll say this. Liam Neeson does make sense for this role. Like, as far as a Frank Drebin character.
Oh, what is it called?
Naked
The
Gun?
Naked Gun.
Oh.
If nothing else, watch the original ones with Liam Neeson or with Leslie Nielsen because they are hilarious. And if you can find it, watch the few episodes they made of Police Squad that the movie's based on. It's basically just episodes of the same thing. And I'm like, how did you... I get why it didn't work because the people weren't ready yet, but how did you convince a network to let you do this? I don't know. Good stuff. A lot of recommendations. Do we just want to give out recommendations for some of our favorite comedies? Yeah, let's go around.
I mean,
Obviously, we all recommend Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah. One my dad showed me, probably too young, is Top Secret. It's very much the same vibes as Airplane.
It's made by the same
So
people.
if that's your... Oh, well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
If that's your kind of humor, then you will definitely like this one.
Everybody else give theirs, and I'm gonna build off of all of yours because I feel like I have the most IMDb knowledge.
God, I have to run through.
Yeah, hang on.
I mean, my two favorite comedy movies are Dodgeball and Spaceballs. So
Both fantastic. Good stuff. I could recommend you anything from Mel Brooks. Even his later stuff is fantastic. We got Spaceballs 2 coming next year as well.
Yeah.
So
2027.
Oh, 2 years from now. Okay.
Yeah, the man is turning 99. He's still producing movies.
This is dark to think about, but what do you think his last words are going to be? You know he's going to go out on a joke, but what's it going to be?
Either the curtains go or I do.
That's actually good.
Okay, who said that?
I did not make that up. That's someone else's
Yeah,
last
who
words.
said that?
Oh,
All right, well, going off of CC, you like Top Secret. You could either go filmmaker or actor in that one. As far as filmmakers go, the Abrams who did Naked Gun and Airplane, check those guys out. But if you're looking for maybe something a little more serious, but also comedic, but also starring Val Kilmer in his prime, I would recommend a movie called Real Genius, where he is a college student who is being tasked to make a high-powered laser for the U.S. government, and he just wants to goof off.
I love that movie. That one's a good one.
Yeah.
I honestly, when you said Val Kilmer, I thought you were going to say Tombstone, but then I realized that's not a comedy.
It's
in
not, but
peace.
you could also recommend that. He's good in it.
Oh, Monty Python, The Holy Grail.
Holy Grail is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, and Ferris Bueller.
Ferris
Love that
Bueller, nice, very good.
The first two Home Alone movies are
Solid,
for me.
solid.
Gremlins and Gremlins 2.
Is it weird I like Gremlins 2 more?
No, because I also like Gremlins 2 more.
It is so up my fucking alley.
You know, nothing for nothing. I thought this movie was hilarious years ago before the memes made it even more popular, but Emperor's New Groove, I'll say it.
Oh,
It's
always
good.
good.
Oh,
Always good.
such a good movie.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
this.
Blues Brothers.
Yeah, I was just about to say. 'Cause I'm trying to think like, what are some movies that I've genuinely been like, I need to go see this again. I will pay to go
I
see
can
this again.
rewatch
Theater.
that movie a lot of times.
Well, we did. We
And
went
we
to,
did.
We went to a movie theater. But to be fair, we talk about Row House every now and then. They were serving deep dish pizza from Chicago
Yes.
and showing Blues Brothers. I was like, we're going.
This is a
We're
great
100%
time.
going. We also Saw Monty Python and the Holy Grail there for Coconut Night. They gave us coconuts to clap along with. Just the other day, we saw them up at Treasure Island.
Mm-hmm.
We were too late for the drinks because I got off work late, which sucked. They were going to have tropical drinks with it. But still, very fun movie. Almost anything the Muppets do is fun. But yeah, Blues Brothers is definitely one of my favorite. Most of the stuff you guys said, I'm going to throw out. I will throw it out again because I do think we need to watch it. Check out 1941, the only dedicated comedy that Steven Spielberg ever made. So bizarre and yet hilarious. And also, in the vein of Hundreds of Beavers, starts slow and escalates. And I'm going to be real with you, it starts with a Jaws joke. Like 4 years after he made the fucking movie.
I guess Ghostbusters is a comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Yeah, I
movie.
would say it is. I have a couple more, and they're not necessarily comedies, but they have a lot of comedic elements.
Okay.
Knives Out and Glass Onion.
Those are both really good.
Yes.
Speaking of the Muppets, I do like that the director was like, yeah, I want to make one of these movies with, like, just Benoit Blanc and the Muppets.
Yes, please. And then, so in 2020, Emma with Anya Taylor-Joy came out. That is funny as hell for like a period drama kind of movie. It's very subtle comedy, but
I like subtle comedy.
It is. It got me particularly well. I was sick while I was watching it, and then I rewatched it when I wasn't sick, and I was like, eh.
You went full Peter Griffin?
Yes. It's not a lot, but it definitely got me a bit.
There's some great comedies from like way back when in like the 40s and 50s and stuff too. Like Some Like It Hot is so good.
Ages so surprisingly well.
It's like such a funny movie.
Because
with
like
Marilyn Monroe and.
Because I was saying like the Blake Edwards things, it's like this is hilarious, except for like these one or two really, really problem parts.
Granted, I have not watched Some Like It Hot in a while, but so I don't remember if there was any issues. But it's a good comedy.
I feel like I've watched it recently enough to say that there's nothing really that aged super bad in it, I don't think. Which is like kind of the only problem with like going back to some movies. You're like, oh, this one's so good, and then you hear like a line of dialogue, you're like, okay,
yeah,
different times.
But some aged pretty okay. Have you ever seen like the long trailer with Lucy and Desi?
You keep bringing that up.
No, it's so fun.
It's
like they go on a little road trip in a trailer, and it's like an I Love Lucy episode, but like a movie, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it does sound fun. I mean, I'm a fan of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and it's pseudo remake Rat Race. So, yeah, I like a lot of those older ones. I mean, sometimes it's just you could just find a good actor with it, like Jack Lemmon. Fucking fantastic.
I feel like Cary Grant was a really good, like, funny actor, and they gave him a chance to be funny too.
Yeah, they didn't give him as many chances. I feel like he was usually the romantic lead, as opposed to
he was in a comedy, like Bringing Up Baby and stuff like that. I feel like he was pretty good.
Yeah, he does make it work.
Though that one probably had its issues. I don't remember. there was like
if you want to give me an excuse to go rewatch some movies, I'm not against it. We're not in the tournament anymore. I actually have time during the week to do things. So, I don't know. Anyone else have anything to say about anything that we've talked about here? Last minute recommendations of any kind? I don't know what I'm ever going to get to say this, but you brought up Dodgeball. What's your Mount Rushmore of like comedic villains?
I mean, here's the thing. I haven't seen a lot of the classic comedy movies, so like a lot of people would say the main villain from Happy Gilmore or
Shooter's up there.
Yeah, like it's kind of hard for me because I haven't seen a lot of the classic comedy movies, so that's why I really didn't say much.
I think without a doubt, White Goodman from Dodgeball has to be on a Mount Rushmore of comedic villains. The problem with villains sometimes in comedies is that they are meant to be the foil for like the comedic lead, so they're usually not funny on their own.
I feel like Mean Girls.
Mean Girls?
She's gotta be up there, right?
Oh, Regina George.
Regina George is iconic. Regina George is iconic, not always very funny, in my opinion.
I don't know.
I think the movie's funny.
I don't think she's
like,
funny herself.
I'm saying like the top 4 of all time. That's a Mount Rushmore. As far as like villains, and also she's not the villain by the end.
I guess. Okay, so they have to stay a villain.
Or, I mean, is the gopher from Caddyshack considered a villain?
No.
Or is it just a foil?
No. but Judge Smales is. He's also on my Mount Rushmore because he is villain through and through, and he is one of the funniest goddamn parts of that movie. And if we ever talk about Caddyshack, I want to tell you so much about Ted McKnight. Yeah. White Goodman, Judge Smales, Hedley Lamar from Blazing Saddles. So funny.
Dark Helmet. Technically he's a villain.
So. Oh no, he's absolutely a villain, and he is hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a good one.
But I'm wondering if I have anyone else. Do I have anyone else? Dark Helmet can go up there. Yeah, you know what? Well, I already have Hedley Lamar for a Mel Brooks villain though.
Well, yeah, I'll let you be the judge since you've seen that film.
Ooh.
Like, if he's the greatest Mel Brooks villain.
I feel like I need one more from somewhere else. I know I had something in my head before. What was it?
It'll come to you after we're done recording.
I know it will. Part of me is like, I'm almost going by eras, because like Blazing Saddles was like the 70s, and you had the 80s comedy with Caddyshack, and then you had the 2000s comedy with Dodgeball. I'm almost like, I need to have a 90s comedies. I can't use Dr. Evil. He's too stupid. That's not, you can't throw him up on the Mount. You can't put Dr. Evil on the Mount Rushmore. No.
I hate to say it to you, but he's probably more iconic, or at least more well-known, than all those other villains.
Here's the worst part. He is more iconic than the villain he's based on now.
Yes.
That's the shame of it all.
Yeah.
Like, people know Dr. Evil. No one knows Blofeld anymore.
Unless you're really into James Bond.
Yeah.
Nothing for nothing. Mike Myers did his job well. It's just...
I don't want to put Dr. Evil on Mount Rushmore. but you're telling me that I might have to. Fuck.
Maybe he needs to.
All right.
If you're thinking of comedy movie villains, Dr. Evil.
All right. Mount Rushmore. Hedley Lamar. Judge Smales. Dr. Evil. And White Goodman. I feel good about 3 of these. How much Patreon content was this? 90%?
Yeah.
All right.
This whole episode was basically, we just had a long tournament. And we had an hour and a half of wanting to boink or dump people. So let's just talk about it.
It was more than an hour.
It was like 3 hours of boinking and dumping.
I don't know what it's going to edit down to, but yeah. Yeah, so. All right. Well, glad you could indulge us on this silly romp we went on. How about we get to something a little more serious next time? Or not serious. I don't know.
No. It's epic.
You know
it's
what?
Amazing.
Give me a whole intro. You tell them what we're watching next week.
We are watching The Indian Epic. A 3-hour... It is basically anime because it has so many anime shonen tropes in it. We are watching RRR.
All right. I am looking forward to this. I have heard nothing but good things. So, and I haven't watched it yet, which is a rarity for me. So, come join us for that, and then whatever we got going on in August and after that. And I have no idea what we're doing, man. But I never did. So, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!